Stop the world. I want to get off. So for a while, I was an altar boy. Then I started driving. I stayed sort of active with the church. And I won't go into what caused me to quit, but it was one of the dinners. But anyway, I got into meetings with the older men in the church, and they're discussing the fish and chip dinner. They'd have Argyles from Kearney. They just went out of business a couple of years ago. Argyle would come in and set up the grease vats where they cook the fish and the fries, the chips. They call them chips, the English thing. And after it was all done, we cleaned up. We all worked. We cleaned the floors. We cleaned the outside of the neighborhood because people would trash the place. But anyway, get it all done. And they're saying, we made $80 profit. And I'm sitting there going, you got to be shitting me. And they're like, what? That's good. I said, $80? I said, I make that at working in a shithole shop down there. And I said, the night we did the dinner, I didn't work, so I didn't get paid for that. I said, $80? I probably lost 20 helping them out. So I said, the next time, I said, let's have a roast beef dinner. And they're like, we have the slicers. We had all that stuff in the kitchen for the church. So they just cried, okay, we'll cook some roast beef. So they cooked the roast beefs. So there's some guy in there. I don't know how he was in it. He was a science teacher for Kearney. I don't know why he was there, but they're cutting up the roast beef, and the fuse or breaker kept popping. So I just said, did it just pop? Yeah. All right, move the slicer to another outlet. And the science teacher stopped me. It's the same thing. It's the same outlet. And he tells me, I'm a science teacher. I said, look, different parts of the room could be on a different line. I said, there's one slicer's over here, the other slicer's over there, but they've got them both in the same outlet. And I said, just unplug over there and put it over there and see if it works. It came right on. So now the slicers aren't blowing the fuse or the breaker, whatever it is. And he's standing there. And I'm like, this guy's a science teacher? So then the guys are complaining to me it was getting really hot in there. So I know there's a fan. I go get a fan, and I come in with it. And right away the science teacher starts up on me. And the kid's there with me. He's in our group, but his girlfriend's in our group. He's from Kearney. That's my science teacher. He's real smart. I'm like, he's smarter than you are. That's all we're at. And I got the fan, and I opened the back door. He says to me, blowing the air around doesn't make it any cooler. And he's doing this BTU shit. I went over and I opened the back door of the kitchen. And then I went over and I put the fan in the window. And in a matter of seconds, I used the fan blowing out and let the air suck in through the door because it's further from people and nobody would get hit with the draft. And I just walked away. I was like, man. And he goes, oh, man, you showed him up. I didn't show him up. The guys are hot. I put a goddamn fan in there, showed him up. Yeah, oh, gee, I don't know if this is going to hurt your feelings, but I'm going to put a fan over here in this window and open the door, and there'll be cross ventilation, and it will be cooler. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I just did it. You showed him up. This is my whole life, he got his feelings hurt. He's a science teacher, all right? You wait till the person's done with the fan to see what he's going to do with the fan before he says, just blowing the air around, it won't make it any cooler. Yeah, well, it actually will. If you're sweating enough and the fan blows on you, when the sweat evaporates off your body, you will be cooler. You can use a British thermal units, BTUs. You can use a thermometer, and it probably won't change at all. But the human being sweating, having air blown on them, evaporation, you become cooler. But I wasn't going for that. I was going for, let's get the hot air out of the kitchen and bring some cool air in from the other side, and that's how you do it. It's that simple. But it's amazing, people like to argue. They don't wait till you finish to say something. They're like, they're already ahead. Oh, he's got a fan. He's not going to make it any cooler. Yeah, I ran a lot. I was there. I had the fan. And I'm listening to this guy in the air. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't even know why he was there. He wasn't a member of our church. I guess maybe Maybe his wife was, and he was helping out. I don't know what he was even doing in the kitchen. I don't know what we had the roast beef with. By the way, oh, the roast beef made $300. But one of the elders, but it was more work. No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't as much work because the Argyle sets up, cooks the dinner, and it seems like it's less work, but you still have to do the floor, which that guy didn't do the floor. I did it with Mr. Oh, I forget his name now. What a nice guy. Anyway, I did the floor with another guy. You had to get you salt and people's shit and cigarette butts, and you gotta. Sometimes you have to strip the floor. Well, anyway, yeah, this is what I go through in life. It's still the same thing. Person, I'll start helping someone. What are you doing? Remember, just because you don't know what I'm doing doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. But anyway, it is what it is. I tell you that real quick story. Yeah, he's a science teacher. Oh, I think that's it. All right, that's it.